Hey YouTube, and welcome back to the Sneaky V YouTube channel. Last time I got you guys here with me, I was getting my engine here started up for the first time, at least the first time on camera. I had already started it once previously, so that does run. And now that means the engine is all but done. There's a few things that need to be buttoned up on it, but it runs. So the next thing that I need to do is get my transmission attached to it, which is why I'm here today. So today I'm just showing like some more parts that I picked up to get the engine on. I mean to get the transmission on and eventually get this thing to the car. So without further ado, I'm gonna bring you guys around here with me and show you what I got. So let's go. All right, here I have my clutch. It is a Ram clutches. Twin disc clutch. That means it has two of these friction discs here. Let's get it turned a little bit there. Get these out the way. Two of these little friction discs, and they both go inside this pressure plate housing here. So I'll explain to you guys how that works real quick. Basically, this is called a pressure plate. What happens is your slave cylinder from your slave cylinder for your let me back up here for a second. Okay, so let's go over here to this box full of stuff here and grab my slave cylinder. Sorry about the camera work right now. I'm using my hand to do multiple things. Okay, so this is a slave cylinder. What this does is it sits inside your transmission and it moves in and out like that on this spring here. All right, what that does is that pushes in when you press the clutch pedal. That actually pushes in on your pressure plate there. Now, what your pressure plate does, when these fingers here are pushed in, they release pressure on your clutch discs. Your clutch discs ride along these surfaces here. Let me take this off real quick. And basically this is how a crash course in how a clutch works. So get these bolts out here real quick. I hope I'm doing pretty good with the camera right now. It's kind of hard to work with one hand and hold the camera with the other one. So just bear with me here. All right, got those bolts out. Let me stick those in my pocket so they don't go anywhere. All right, so the pressure plate, when I have another bolt here. When your slave cylinder presses down on these fingers, your pressure plate here actually releases its grip on your friction surface and your clutch, your other clutch plate here. So basically, when these fingers are not pressed in, these are tightly clamped down to that silvery surface there, and the other one over there is clamped down to your flywheel. I have my flywheel here. So basically what this does is you take this and it says flywheel side right there. So that side goes down on your flywheel and makes contact with your flywheel, and that's what creates friction to basically get power from the engine back to the wheels through the transmission. So you got one on your flywheel there, and then this piece here goes between that one and your second plate, and the second plate here goes on top of that. That's a dual clutch transmission. I believe a single disc clutch would only have one of these friction surfaces here, but this one has two, and then this one goes back on top. So when you're, let's get this lined up a little bit better. Nope, it's sliding off. Let me set you guys down and do this a little bit better. It's not gonna actually be on there, but it is kind of gonna be on there. Want it out of the way. Jeez, this thing is heavy, especially with the freaking flywheel there. Anyways, basically it just stacks up like that. Those splines in there have to be lined up, so they send you a little alignment tool with it so that you can line the first disc up with the second disc. And when they're lined up like that, you take this whole thing, or rather you take the whole thing first once you bolt it all together, and you put it back on your what do you call this thing, your crankshaft here. Your flywheel will go on first, then you just bolt the clutch to it, get it all lined up with your alignment tool here, and once it's all lined up, you can basically plug your transmission into it. The transmission goes into this hole where the clutch alignment tools go right there, and it has to match up. There are 26 splines on this, 26 splines around there, and 26 splines on my transmission. And speaking of my transmission, I have it right here, so let me show you guys this thing. Put some of this stuff aside, set that there, and get this open for you guys. So what I have here is, where's my blade? Let's cut this open for you guys. Cut that, these two, and these two. So what I have here, if you guys couldn't tell, is a Tremec transmission. The specific brand or specific model actually happens to be a T56 Magnum. So what I have here is a T56 Magnum, which is probably one of the best transmissions that you can get, like, you know, just off the shelf before you start getting into some real race car stuff. So I got my T56 Tremec Magnum. It's the same thing as the regular T56 transmission, except it's built a little bit sturdier. It has a few more features that allow it to hold a little bit more power. It is a manual, which is why I have a clutch, obviously. Basically, when those fingers release those friction plates between there, it allows the engine to spin free of the transmission so that you can shift the gears, because it's really hard to shift gears while your engine is connected directly to the transmission, because it's still sending power through it. Anyways, this is a 6-speed. I think it's in neutral right now. I'll have to, let's see. So if we're facing this direction, yeah, well, that's neutral. Over and up would be first, down second, back to neutral, and up is third, fourth, back to neutral, over and up is fifth, and down is sixth. So that's a 6-speed. There should be one more up and over, which will be reversed, but it doesn't feel like I went anywhere. It feels like I went back to fifth. But from sixth, if you go up and over, that should be reversed, but I think the lockout is active right now because there's no power applied to it. I don't know if that's just like how it is normally. You just can't put it in the reverse until you get some power applied to it. But yeah, that's my transmission. So this thing can hold up to 700 rear wheel torque. I'm not sure how much horsepower that translates to. I'm not gonna take it out of the box right now because it is heavy. I've taken it out of the box before and it's just pointless right now, and it's awkward and hard to get back into the box. More hard to get back into the box than it is to get out. So those are the new toys I have. Unfortunately, I can't really do anything with it right now because this clutch actually requires a flat flywheel, and as you guys can see here, this flywheel is not flat. It has these little steps here. It's raised. There's 3 of these that are raised up above the surface of the actual like flywheel part here that makes contact with the clutch, and that doesn't allow the whole thing to sit down onto the friction surface here. This whole thing needs to be flat, so I have to get another flywheel, but it's okay. This one was cheap. I just bought it to get it running from the beginning. I even had to go and cut off these little dowels here because they just wouldn't pull out, just to make sure it would fit. But I have to get a new flywheel because this one won't work. So with that being said, it's gonna take probably a week or 2 for me to get a new flywheel, and unfortunately I'm gonna probably be on hiatus for a little while because I have to go home for the holidays. Once my job releases us, I have a specific type of job that doesn't really allow me to work a lot in the winter because there's simply no work to do due to the season. And they'll let us go, and I'll basically drive down south and go home to where my sister lives, and I'll just hang out down there for about a month. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to take all this with me unless I rent a U-Haul, and I don't know how much that's going to cost. Plus, I got to buy a new flywheel. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. If I get enough money before I leave, I'll see if I can rent a U-Haul and tow it all down there and see if I can get it put in while I'm down there, since I'm going to be off for like a month. And hopefully everything works out. I know everything's not going to work out because that's just the way things work. Anytime you're working on a car, anytime you have some kind of big project, everything is not going to go perfect, and you just have to expect that. That's just how it works. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I've showed you guys everything I need to do today, or I need to show you today. I'm going to get this slid back up against the wall, get my clutch put back together and in its box for safekeeping, and I'll see you guys next time whenever I come back. What else? Is there anything else that I wanted to show you guys? No, I believe that's it. So anyways, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Send your friends my way if you think they would enjoy this kind of content. And I'll see you guys later.